How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Down to Earth with Kristian Harloff. It's me, Kristian Harloff, here on our UAP news channel. This is the Monday through Friday channel where we talk about everything going on in the world of the UAP phenomenon. Now, well, first of all, let's just say what we thought was going to happen. And it did. And that's something that didn't happen. A question about UAP in the presidential debate. Didn't happen. So there's part one. There's information that's not going out. There's no way at all. The stuff that was talked about last night, that wasn't one of the things, for sure. So there is more information from other people that you have the regular players that are out there who continuously give interviews, who talk to people, who get the word out. And, you know, whether it's Gary Nolan, Ross Coldhart, Jeremy Corbell, Tim Gallaudet, Tim Burchett, Luna, Moskowitz, the list goes on and on and on, right? And Danny Sheehan, obviously, another one. Now, the reason I brought up the debate is Danny Sheehan and Steve Bassett were big in putting together that campaign to get a question asked about UFOs at the debate. No, it didn't happen, but at least they're trying. Now, Danny Sheehan was on a show, a podcast the other day, and it's interesting what he said. Take a listen to this.
In that article on the debrief, where Carl Nell essentially came out, there was another individual that I have not heard much about since. It's self-admitted in the article. It's somewhat of a pseudonym, but his name is Jonathan Gray. Has he also been involved in this process?
Again, I'm not allowed to talk about Jonathan Gray.
Okay. You're making this difficult for me, Danny.
Well, I can tell you this, that I was much more forthcoming as a general rule, and I have been I won't say admonished. I'll say I have been informed that I needed to be much more discreet about what it was I was willing to talk about if I was going to continue to be provided the kind of information we need to function here at the New Paradigm Institute.
Okay, that's from Engaging the Phenomena podcast. Now, I'm curious and skeptical. Not skeptical, that's not the right word, but I'm curious. Who's telling him not to talk? And it goes back to the idea of, like, is there, it's kind of, I don't know, contradictory? Is it hypocritical, I guess, in a certain sense? Maybe it isn't, maybe it is. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know yet. But here's the point of the hypocritical side of it, that I don't know if this is right or wrong, and you guys tell me. Let's say that the people that are going for the right thing, of trying to get the information out, to try to get it to the public, that there's this one controlled kind of group that is saying we're going to try to get the controlled disclosure out because we're fighting against the government and the DOD and Arrow and all these other different people that for years have been keeping these secrets, and we're fighting the cause. We have a plan on how to do this. If you go against our plan, you're in the wrong. And we're going to come get you and tell you, quiet. You can't do that. We're not going to give you information. You can't do that. What makes them different than the other people? You know, if that's the case. Now, I don't know what it is, because the flip side of that, and as I argue with myself, is, yeah, but listen, look at the case of Jason Sands in what we said the other day, where Jason Sands was part of a conversation and part of a plan, you know, and then he went against that plan and debuted all of his stuff on Twitter Spaces, and people didn't take him as serious. It was like they had to come out and say, you know, he's legit. He actually did do this, but it's like you wouldn't have had to do that if it was a planned interview and it was presented in the right way. So I understand the argument, and I start to say to myself, well, yeah, there's got to be a certain way, because if you're out there saying things, we know what we want to do. This is our plan of attack. We're going to do this, and this. And I think it's so hard to say when you don't have all the information, right? But I'm of two minds of it. One of it is like, well, why are you trying to control the narrative if it's not your narrative to control, if you're fighting for all of us to figure it out? But then the other side of it is, we have this information that we're not supposed to have, and we have other people who had this information, and we have these things that we've got to be calculated in order to make this work. And if you say the wrong thing at the wrong time, they're either not going to take us seriously, and it's all going to go to shit. I understand that. And I think it's part of the overall frustration in general. And it's also hard when things are vague. Like that Danny Sheehan was vague. Like I was told, or I don't want to say admonished, but I was told, and if we want the information that we can't, who's saying that? So we don't know who's saying that. People inside of the government, people inside of, is it a different foundation? Is it different people? Who knows? So it's just my overall thoughts where I think that it's almost like going through therapy as I'm talking to the camera here, because I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know if I say I understand what these people are doing and I get it, and then the other side of it is that they're being hypocrites. I don't know, because I don't have enough detail. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you know what I mean? So that's ultimately what I think with this topic, because you see it more and more where they're like, as I mentioned on UAP Tuesday, I totally understand the Jason Sands stuff. I completely understand that. If they were like, what are you doing, guy? What are you doing? Stop. Don't. We have a plan. And without enough detail, I can't say if it was right or wrong, in my opinion, to tell Danny Sheehan to say, no, don't say that yet. I don't know. It's just, but it does seem like there are people who are trying to control the narrative in general. And if it's justified, so be it. But if it's not, and it's like, well, we want to be the ones to talk about it. We want to be the ones to be able to do this because we want to be the ones that are in the spotlight. Well, then that's a problem. And I don't know if that's the case. What do you guys think in general? And the answer could be like, I don't know who the hell you're talking about. And I would say, neither do I. But nonetheless, comment, tell me what you think here. Put your comments in there, and I want to have a discussion about it. And as always, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 30,000, trying to get to 50,000, trying to get that conversation going so we can build out the community in general. Now, when it comes to people talking about this, and this is a different conversation in general, everybody should be talking about this. It shouldn't be a group of people. It shouldn't just be me. It shouldn't just be vetted. It shouldn't just be this. It shouldn't just be a couple people. It should be everybody talking about this. That's the whole point. It shouldn't be like, well, those are the only people who should be talking about it. No, nonsense. Everybody should be talking about this because we want everybody to get more information. So if there's other people out there, follow them. There's other people out there who are thinking about doing it and talk about it every once in a while. Encourage them to do it more. Bring it up at your dinner conversations. Even if someone goes, well, it's the guy talking about UFOs. Tell them the facts. You know the facts. So anyway, that's all I got for you today. Have a wonderful weekend. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. And we'll see you on Monday.